YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back. Today I'm predicting who will be the top 10 rushing offenses for the 2021 NFL season. Also got some teams that just missed the cut. They feel top 10 worthy, but kind of honorable mentions. We're going to do the same thing for passing offenses next video. And then we're going to rank every single offense 32 to 1. And then we'll do the same thing for defenses as well. All kinds of those videos on the channel. A lot more to come. Weekly picks, score predictions, power rankings, more. We have you covered in season, so join us. Like, subscribe, make sure you follow that Twitter. Important stuff on there. You guys get to say in weekly pick'ems. For this video, it's not who will get the most yards, who will run the ball the most, who will be the most effective rushing offenses here this year. So, and again, here's our Twitter link down below, constant updates. I asked you guys kind of the same question, who will be the top offense, rushing offense that is for this year. So check it out, play along here. Who just missed the cuts? I threw the Eagles in there, because you had Jalen Hurts full-time this year, not just part of the season like last year, now majority or all of it here. And that's big time for the rush. It should be a very solid one. They got a good mixture of running backs in there as well. They draft Kenneth Gainwell as kind of a hybrid player. They add Kerryon Johnson, who is a very good blocker, actually, to protect the quarterback, pass protection. And you already have Miles Sanders, who's their main number one, but Boston Scott's solid running back as well. So they're going to be a pretty damn good rushing here this year. Will there be stacked boxes? Will that slow down how good their rushing offense can be? Because everyone's just not really worried about the passing game. Maybe they will be. We stack the box, and that'll make their rushing game a little less effective, but overall I think solid. The Cardinals, I think pretty good in terms of production last year. They lose Kenyon Drake, who they trusted inside the tackles a little more last year, and they're going to pass the ball more. They already were mainly a pass-first team, a lot of spread looks. I think they're going to be more of a pass-first team this year, which kind of boosts their passing game and then take a little bit of hit in the running game, but still dangerous because what they have, Kyler Murray, Chase Edmonds. The Seahawks, always inside the top 10. Sometimes we see them high inside the top 10. Another team, I think they're going to go way more towards the passing game, prioritize that, but still effective on the ground. But I don't think they'll have that same game plan or is pound the football for a whole half to wear the defense out. Maybe sometimes. The Bears really got going in terms of running the ball effectively end of last year. They changed kind of their scheme up a little bit, their system. They're going to go more towards that. And they got a long list of runners. We'll see if Justin Fields plays too, because if he plays, we're going to even add more to that rushing attack. Based off last year, which we're not basing things off of here, but they were still, even though they were very effective down the stretch, they were still towards the bottom half, how effective they were as a whole. But I think that changes this year, and they get going a little more. The question is, kind of like the Eagles, will there be a ton of stacked boxes where it'll kind of, the running game won't be as effective as it can be because of that? And the Raiders, and they add Kenyon Drake for a reason. They want that 1-2 punch. They tried to do it with Devontae Booker last year. It's definitely stronger now with Josh Jacobs, Kenyon Drake. They want to be more effective running the ball. They drafted a guy like Alex Leatherwood, who's a very good run blocker first. They want to be more effective, and they changed the offense line in general. They want to gear more towards that. So I think that's a team to watch for as well. But counting down the top 10 here, number 10, I'm going to go Green Bay Packers, known as more of a pass-first team, a high-powered passing offense, but they still make the top 10 in rushing attack. Helps they have Aaron Jones. The A.J. Dillon should get going this year as well. They did lose Jamal Williams. But it's a team that any given week they can look like a run-first team. They really could do that to make things easier on the passing attack. Not that they need to, but there's just been weeks where they didn't really need Rodgers to ball out as much as he can because they're just dominating teams, with their running game, and see them get tempo going sometimes and really throw teams off early in games. So, I'm going to go with them at number 10. And another team, when we do rank the passing offenses, they'll be up there as well. So we see how good of an offense that is in general. Number 9 is going to be the Saints. It's a tricky one because they have Jameis Winston, going from Breeze to Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston, known for airing it out, getting a lot of production, a lot of attempts throwing the ball, but way less careful with the ball than Drew Brees. But does that mean, and Drew Brees was kind of, he couldn't throw the ball 40 times a game, 30 times a game anymore. So does this mean they go more of a passing attack, less running, so that'll kind of affect their total run offense? Or because, the kind of lack of receivers they have, do they keep it more of a rush offense here? They have Kamara, they have Latavius Murray, they have Devontae Freeman. So they have the ability to be a top 10 running offense. So I think it'll be a little more of a mix than I think before, but they'll still be in that top 10 here for their rushing attack. See how much Kamara is used as a pure running back versus a receiver. I think we could see more receiver roles, and we saw a lot of it last year, but for this year. So it's something, we're all curious to see. Number 8 is going to be the New England Patriots. Yeah, this probably, actually relies on if Cam Newton will be the starter week 1. If he is, how long will it be in? Because they're probably probably debatable, but they're probably a better rush offense with Cam Newton because he contributes to that way more than Mac Jones. But if you got Mac Jones, they're probably better in my opinion, in terms of passing offense. So it's not really a lose situation, if they go one way or the other, in this case here. So if they have Cam Newton, I maybe more stacked boxes, but they are more effective on the ground. But they have a long list of solid running backs led by Damian Harris, but they have Sony Michel, James White, Ramondre Stevenson, who I like a lot too. So they're going to be effective running the ball. I mean, you saw last year with Cam Newton, that style, they were top 5, in terms of stats, which is not all about stats. I'm looking at who's the most effective. But they're trying to pass the ball a little more. There still feels like a run-first team, but they're trying to pass the ball a little more. They add receivers, they add tight ends, so they can kind of play that Patriots passing game, that Patriots passing system that we know and love here. So they're trying to gear back towards that. So they may not have as many attempts as last year, but still very effective. Why they're number 8, top 10 here. 7, I'm going to go with the Broncos. So I have the Broncos entering the conversation. Pretty good rush offense last year, but kind of entering the top 10, inside the top 10, number 7 here. They add Javonte Williams. Huge fan of him. And they have Melvin Gordon, who I thought really got going last year. They also have Mike Boone, who can run. They got Royce Freeman. So they really stacked this group. They have a pretty good group of receivers combined with tight ends for the passing attack too. But what I think their plan will come out in run the ball, maybe some play action, get things open for the quarterback, which we expect to be Drew Lock here. So they're going to value running the ball to open up the pass. So and they have the talent there too. So it kind of feels like a Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt type thing. I guess they don't have Kareem Hunt's receiving abilities. I think Williams is upside there, but it kind of reminds me of that 1-2 punch in the making. Maybe not quite there yet, but we didn't even see Williams play yet, but I'm extremely confident in him. But that's a damn good rushing attack there. We'll see if it's kind of a prediction. We'll see if that's the route they go or if they want to be a pass-first team because they have those weapons. We will see. 6, I'm going to go with the 49ers. Tricky because at the moment it kind of feels in the range of 50-50, maybe you want to call it 60-40 in terms of who will start at quarterback this year. If Trey Lance starts week 1, and I know predicting here that he will, while I'm trying to predict, I should say that he will play every single snap as long as he's healthy for the 49ers this year, then I would actually probably say better than number 6 here. And that's saying something because there's some damn good ones in the top 5 here, because they're going to be more effective on the ground. The teams won't know if Trey Lance has the ball, who's a dominant runner, or if the running back group has the ball. They also have Deebo Samuel, who contributes in that category. Raheem Mostert's a phenomenal back, home run hitting back, has physicality as well. Just has that injury concern, but hearing great things on Trey Sermon. They like him a lot. He'll get some reps. And they have other running backs as well, but that's kind of that 1-2 punch right now from what we're hearing. But again, if you factor in Trey Lance, it's even better. I think it's even better. Even if it's stacked, I don't know if you could stack a box against that. We'll see it, but you got to respect a little bit of the deep ball game from Trey Lance as well. So I do think better with Lance. It's kind of up in the air and who will start week 1. I'm very confident Lance will see majority of the snaps this year, so that kind of helps with them being 6 here. But they don't have that star big name running back, but it really doesn't matter. They're still number 6 here. Number 5 is going to be the Colts. And, we see Sam Ehlinger earlier today. We were talking on Twitter, kind of getting reps with the 1. So Eason will be the starter for preseason game 1. But it's kind of Eason versus Ehlinger right now. They do have Brett Hundley, give him an opportunity, a chance as well. But that could actually affect the run game. It's interesting because they have a very good run game because they're a run-first team. They have the offensive line to open up those holes. They are going to be missing Quentin Nelson, and they don't have Costanzo anymore, but they have Eric Fisher. But how much time will he miss? So they kind of take a hit because of that. But they still got such a good group with Jonathan Taylor, Marlon Mack, And Naheem Hines, who looked very solid, looked like their better option some weeks. There was some weeks where it looked like he was their guy. There were some weeks it looked like Taylor was guy. And keep in mind, Hines is kind of that hybrid player too, so impressive. So they got a really good group there. But without Quentin Nelson, but how long will he be out for? Will that affect them? But here's the thing, Ellinger, if Ellinger plays, I think you get more. I think you get more opportunities from your quarterback to get yards. But is he like a Trey Lance, a dominant runner? Not at all. He's much better than Jacob Eason running. We're gonna see more. We're gonna see probably the only chance we see design quarterback runs is if it's Ellinger over Eason. But I don't know if anybody will respect his passing game. So I think we'll see more stacked boxes against the Colts if Ellinger is starter than any other team in the NFL. Any other team, more than Titans, Ravens, all those teams. So that's why I actually think first glance, Ellinger, we'll see quarterback runs. Their offense will be better running wise. I'd say not so fast. I think with Eason, even though he's definitely not proven yet at all because he hasn't taken a snap, you still got to respect that deep ball a little bit because he has the arm strength, stretch the defense out a little bit. But Frank Reich's a genius with his running attack here with the system. And they have the group of running backs, why they are in the top 5, and I'm curious to see who will be at quarterback. Top four is so tight, but I'm going to go with the Vikings at 4. Kind of a good thing because they started to pass the ball a little more at the end of last year. It almost like a pass-first team, which is very weird to see because that is what we're not used to with the Vikings. They're still a run-first team, but are they going towards passing the ball a little more? Are they going towards having more than 2 receivers out there at once a little more? So it's kind of a good thing, that maybe they'll be a little more balanced than we're used to. But led by Dalvin Cook, and they have that long list of running backs. They have one of the better fullbacks in the game with C.J. Ham as well. They love to pound the football, and they're very, very effective at it here. But can we see more of a passing attack going for like at the end of last year? Can we see it full term now? 3, I'm going to go with the Browns. The same exact offense as the Vikings. I mean, they have one of the Vikings offense coordinators, Stefanski, so they're going to run the ball. I mean, it helps they have the best duo in football with Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Chubb is known as the number 1 guy for the right reasons. They're understandable. But Hunt could be the best running back on the field at any given time there. That's fantastic. I like Baker's ability to run as well in kind of crucial moments on those bootlegs. He has the ability. He has the quick feet. He has the ability to get going. So I mean, it's a big time rush offense, and it just seems like it's even if you stack the box, it's impossible to stop. But Baker's making defenses, keeping defense on their toes now as well, so that's good. Number 2, I'm going to go with the Titans. They add Julio Jones. Does that boost their pass game a little more? It definitely does, but I actually think what their main goal, number 1, was just to get a really good receiver that they could get in there for a good cost. For solid value, lower than his value. That was kind of number 1 in Julio Jones. Number 2, I actually think it could be to stretch the field. It's the big one. Stretch the field a little more because, you see what the Ravens did in the playoffs. They just absolutely everybody loaded the box, but the Ravens just absolutely game planned strictly for Derrick Henry, stacked the crap out of the box, and it was really on A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown got going early that game. But then they were kind of, they had Marlon Humphrey on them. They had somebody over the top as well. And everyone else just played Derrick Henry, and it was ball game. So I think that's kind of their goal here. And Derrick Henry being able to handle a load and being that top-tier back that we know, it's a big reason why they're number 2 here. So adding Julio could actually make them more of a running team than a passing team. Some people think their passing game might go up. I think, their run game might go up because it could be both. And number 1, pretty obvious, the Ravens. We just mentioned them, but for defensive reasons. But the Ravens, they've been number 1. I'm going to stick with them at number 1. I mean, it's kind of obvious at this point. But Lamar Jackson, his ability to run, and the group of running backs. They have Gus Edwards, J.K. Dobbins, who's going to step up. I think Gus Edwards is even getting better, and they got a few other guys as well. So I think it's just. It starts with Lamar Jackson. Those running backs are good. I think they're actually underrated, but it starts with Lamar Jackson. It's just such a tough game plan. He's going to run, but you got to worry about, is he going to give the ball? And then you got to, even when he's coming, it's easier said than done to stop them, actually. So it's obviously a run-first team. They're trying to add more receivers, but I do think it's – I don't think it's to change. I don't think it's to pass the ball more. I think it's when they want to stick to that game plan. When they choose to pass the ball, they need more reliable receivers because they weren't throwing a lot, and when they did, their receivers kind of let them down with lack of separation and drop balls. Maybe take a little pressure off Mark Andrews as well, because it just seems like the game plan is to stop the run and watch the tight end. So that guy, kind of like the Titans, adding the receivers could boost the rushing game. Actually, I actually could, as long as he continues to stay healthy, I think Lamar Jackson could have an even better rushing season here, and we hope that he is a better passer this year. But it starts with those weapons performing better. So, got to go with the Ravens. I thought it was an obvious top 4 probably. But yeah, the Colts, depending on their quarterback situation, because they have the running backs can sneak in there. The 49ers, depending on their quarterback situation, Trey Lance could really boost them. They could end up being number 1, really. So those teams are pretty damn close here. So let me know your guys' rankings and thoughts. You're already kind of talking about that on Twitter. That's a good reason to follow us there. Constant updates talking during live games. You guys will be able to vote for the fan vote for weekly pick'ems this year on that as well. So link down below. Check it out. Make sure you like, subscribe. Be much, much appreciated. That's going to do it for this one, though. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.